ways, right? We're not here to try and awaken people, and we're not here to try and shock them with our version of what's going on, because it's just going to alienate them further from us, and make our life even more uncomfortable. Our role is to do whatever's required to nurture and nourish ourselves so that we keep being the light. And slowly but surely, our light, our eminence, our energetic influence will help prepare them for the transformation that's ongoing on this planet, right? That's the best way, in my opinion, to just be it, to be happy in the world. You don't need to shock them. You don't need to counter their fear-based stuff. Yeah, sure, we hold our boundaries and don't allow them to indoctrinate us into it. We don't necessarily sacrifice ourselves to keep them happy, but we don't go out of our way to try and prove ourselves right and them wrong, because that is not going to help them, and it's not going to help you. So the more that we can just do our best to stay sane in a world that is incredibly polarized right now, and not let it push us into fight, because fight just lowers our vibration. When we start pushing back against the world, saying that's wrong, it needs to change, we need to fix that, we need to wake everyone up to this, it lowers our vibration. It lowers our vibration. Yeah, it's important to have our eyes wide open. It's important to see what we perceive, but not to get into fight against it, but to rather expand out of it, to hold a strong intention that we are going to act in a way that diminishes the power of that particular influence on this planet, right? So if we're not happy with the way that, Amazon has taken over the commerce on the planet, and many small businesses, and all of these the rich tapestry of how business was done on this planet is falling away. If we're not happy with that, it's no point just tweeting all day on friggin' whatever about how bad Amazon is. Just start spending your money in an appropriate way, right? And start talking up to your friends about how good it is to spend your money in an alternate way, right? Not necessarily highlighting what's all wrong with Amazon, but highlighting what's right with the other way of doing it. That's just an example. As an example, same with health, right? It's no good just bashing down what's wrong with our health system. What's much more serviceful is to keep lifting what's right with the alternates. What's right with the alternate ways of doing it, right? Homeopathic prophylaxis, right, as a way of increasing immunity to various infectious viruses and stuff, right? When you start talking about how well that's worked for you and your children and all the rest of it, without having to bash down the vaccines, you have much better effect than just coming in with the basher out saying how wrong the vaccines are. They're full of mercury, they're this, they're that, right? You just get labeled as an anti-vaxxer and put in that box, right? But when you speak passionately about the alternatives without speaking any negativity about the current system, you actually have much more influence, right? And this is what we're talking about, consistently talking about. Focusing on what you desire, focusing on what you are aligning with, focusing on where you are going and speaking that into reality, rather than focusing on what you don't like and trying to bash that down, or trying to fight that, or trying to fix that, because what you focus on, you feed. What you focus on, you feed, and what you feed will grow stronger. So many people now think they're doing a great job in changing the world by speaking poorly about what's wrong, right? About shouting from the rooftops all that's wrong. They're feeding it. And those that are pulling the strings love it. It's controlled opposition to them. They love it that the people are fighting with them. They love it even more when we fight amongst ourselves, but even fighting them, they win, right? Because they're taking our energy. Every fighting maneuver we make, they're scraping the energy, because that vibration suits them, right? Fear, anger, guilt, shame, sadness, all of those vibrations feed the dark agenda. When you allow yourself to perpetuate those feelings of fight and frustration and anger, when you allow yourself to keep expressing that out in the world, and inciting that in others, you are actually feeding the dark agenda. And I know some people say, well, you're spiritually bypassing that. You're just speaking about love all the time. No, I don't just speak about love all the time, but I realize that love and the higher vibrations, and assuming the vibration of peace from a real integral, joyful place in ourselves, is what will change this world. Anyway, my friends, so many people who think differently to me that I'm beginning to wonder if I've actually got it all wrong. There is no wrong. That's the point. There is no wrong. Go with what you feel and choose to be that in the world. It's not about getting it wrong or right. That's exactly what I'm saying. We don't need to label people who think differently to us as wrong and put us in the right bucket, nor do we need to allow ourselves to be them right and us wrong. When we get rid of wrong and right, when we start to dissolve the polarities, and that's what I'm saying about, because that's what fight comes from, is this idea of right and wrong. So once we allow the polarities to dissolve and realize there is no right and wrong, we can allow everyone to be, and that gives us permission to be passionate, as Sylvie just wrote, passionate about what we believe in as an influence on this planet. And that is your purpose, to be passionate about who you be. That's it. Be the bright light being. Just be it. Here, passionately, unashamedly, unapologetically, be yourself. That is your prime purpose on this planet. It's not to get it right. It's not to follow the rules. It's not to be spiritual in the eyes of what spirituality has been trained to you as, because there's no right and wrongs about what spiritually be. Spirituality is just aligned with your spirit. So be spirited in everything you do, but just be aware that you don't get egoic with trying to prove yourself right and wrong, right? To think that someone else is wrong just because they have a different opinion to you, or a different belief to you, or a different history to you, or a different skin color to you, or a different believe, anything to you. It doesn't freaking matter. It doesn't matter. Let them be who they be, and let you be who you be. Your world will be a reflection of you when you fully embrace confidently your world. That's it. Your world will be different. Stop thinking there's only one world, because each and every one of us individually has our own world. It's our own projection. The world is our own. It's individual. It's individual. I know you think that if someone else is doing something over there that it's affecting you, but it doesn't have to. I know, then you bring up an argument, but yes, there's playing bullets around with a machine gun, right? When you settle into knowing your vibration on this planet, you will influence your perception of your world, and it will delight you. Delight you. You will be the light and delighted with your light, and your world will be full of light. So that's the primary message, my friends. I've